Welcome to 3D Model Trains. To get you familiar with the program, we'll show you some of the tools that you'll be using to make your train setups. In the Tools menu, select Camera Horizontal. If you now click on the platform, you can move about horizontally. You can also use the shortcut key, Control. You can also move the platform vertically. In the Tools menu, select Camera Vertical. You can also use the shortcut key, Shift. To zoom in and out, use the Camera Zoom function from the Tool menu. You can also use the Control-Alt key. Occasionally, it can be useful to turn the camera. For this, select Camera Turn from the Tools menu. You can now turn the camera. The shortcut key is the Alt button. You can also rotate the camera. In the Tools menu, choose Camera Tilt. You can now rotate the camera as much as you like. The shortcut key is Control-Shift. By selecting Camera Angle from the Tools menu, you can have the camera rotate around its own axis. You can also use the shortcut keys Control, Shift, Alt. Another nice feature of 3D Model Trains is the ability to work with objects. For this, use the catalog on the left side. In the catalog, select from the various subcategories. Here you will find all of the objects you will need to make creative layouts. We can add a house, for instance. In the catalog list, go to the Objects menu and select Models. In the middle of the list, you will find the category Buildings. Select this category and pick one of the houses. To place the object on the platform, click on it and keep the mouse button pressed down. Then, drag the house to the platform and release the mouse button. Once you've placed an object on the platform, you can use one of various functions to change its position. From the Tools menu, choose Move Object, Object Height, Rotate Object round X, Rotate Object round Y, Rotate Object round Z. There's another way to change the position of an object. Right-click on the object and choose Properties. From the Properties dialog box, you can type new values for any of the labeled variables and instantly view the changes to the object on the platform. To lock the position of an object, right-click on it and choose Lock. Each object consists of a number of separate objects that have been grouped together as a single shape. To modify the object, you must first select Edit and choose Ungroup. You'll now see all of the parts of the object and can modify these. You can also regroup the parts into a single object again. First, select all the parts by clicking on it with the Control button pressed down. After selecting everything, go to the Edit menu and select Group. You now have a new object containing all selected parts. Many of the tools can be selected by clicking on the appropriate icon beneath the menu. The default icon is Move Object, Rotate Object, Object Height, Camera Zoom, Camera Horizontal, Camera Turn, Camera Vertical, Camera Tilt. 3D Model Trains let you easily and flexibly lay out track. We'll show you how to do that now. We'll start by choosing the tracks of one of the manufacturers. First, we'll start with some curved rail. Drag the track onto the platform, a second piece which snaps to the first, and a third piece which snaps to the first two pieces. Now we're going to copy that group by selecting them all, copy, paste, giving us 2 sets of 3-track. Rotate the second set, move them so that they snap into place, and we have a curved section with 6 pieces. Select them all, copy, paste, giving us 2 sets of curved pieces. Rotate one group, move it into position, Control-click to select the other 6 pieces, rotate those, move those. Now we're going to select straight track. Drag it into place. Drag a second piece into place. Now we're going to attempt to connect all of them. Control-click to select 8 pieces. Rotate slightly. Move them and snap them into place. Now we'll reposition the whole set of tracks. Now we'll take a look at them from a 2D view. Go back to the 3D view and show you that we can move it vertically, move the angle, and we're done. Using the techniques that we've shown you in this video, you should be able to lay out tracks easily, quickly, and flexibly. As you start building more complex track layouts with 3D model trains, you may find it useful to bend the tracks to complete your new designs. We'll show you how to do that here now. To demonstrate the technique, we'll first make 2 sections of track and then show you how to connect the 2 by bending. For the first section, we'll use a few straight pieces, and we'll add a curved piece, and there's our first section. Now we'll create a second section. We're going to remove the curved piece over there first. Okay, now we're making another straight section. And we see that the 2 don't meet here. For the second section, we'll lock it in place so that we can see that we can't move it. And now, to make the connection, we'll use the bend track function. And now you can see that the pieces will go together by sliding them and dragging them into place. From the overhead view, you can see it in close-up. And there we have it. We've snapped them into place using the bend track function. In this video, we'll show you how to make your train move. We'll start by adding a simple train to the tabletop. Right-click the engine to open the Properties dialog. Change the speed value to non-zero. A higher value makes the train move faster. A negative sign in front of the speed changes direction. You can also indicate if the train must change direction automatically if you want to clear the switches, or if you want the train to make sounds while moving. In this video, we'll show you how to add sounds to your train. For this example, we'll add a steam locomotive to the tabletop. Right-click on the engine to open the Properties dialog, and click the Sound checkbox. This opens a dialog box for you to choose a WAV file to play when the engine is moving. In this video, we'll show you how to make your own engine to use with 3D model trains. You'll build your engine by combining a few GIF bitmap images into a three-dimensional rectangle. Use the File Import menu item to bring these bitmapped images onto the tabletop. The process involves moving and resizing the textures, and then carefully fitting the separate pieces together. Building the engine doesn't require a lot of skill, but you'll need to use many of the commands for moving the 3D camera over the tabletop. For the next few minutes, we'll leave you to follow along silently as we show you how we've constructed this engine from a few scanned images. The construction is now complete. The next step is to combine all of the separate parts into a group. And then convert the group into an engine. And of course, we can make the engine move along the tracks. In this video, we'll show you how the addition of a new camera to your setup can make for an interesting train ride. We'll start by adding a camera to our project. From the Objects category, find and drag the blue camera to the project. From the View menu, uncheck the Catalog item to see the project in full screen mode. Next, position the camera beneath the engine between the front wheels. Use the default Rotate Object and Object Height tools to move the camera. To orient the camera horizontally, from the Tool menu, select Rotate Object around X-axis. Click on the engine to select it and then ungroup the individual parts. Using the default tool, select the engine parts, which now include the new camera. Whoops, we missed selecting the backside of the engine. Using the default tool again, select only the engine parts and camera. From the Edit menu, choose Group to combine the individual part, and from the View menu, choose Group Blue Camera. Here's an interesting view from beneath the engine. Change the view back to the normal 3D camera. Notice that the group is still selected. From the Object menu, choose Convert. In the Convert dialog, change the selected group to an engine. Then, set the train in motion by changing the speed to a non-zero value. Now you can see the view from beneath the engine. In this video, we'll show you how to connect the transformer to a train set. From the catalog, choose one of the controllers from the Objects Accessories category. Drag the controller into position on the tabletop. With the controller still selected, ungroup its parts. Right-click the orange flywheel, choose Properties, and then click the Connect button. In the Connect dialog, select the engine part tree, choose the current item, and click the Connect button. Right-click the flywheel and choose Properties. Change the two out values to non-zero values, and close the dialog by clicking the X in the right-hand corner of the dialog box. Use the default tool to select all of the controller parts and group them. Now you can turn the orange flywheel to control the speed and direction of the engine on your tabletop. In this video, we'll make a tunnel to use with 3D model trains. We'll start off by laying some ground covering on the tabletop. Later, you'll see that the ground covering will be used as the hidden part of the tunnel. Follow along as we create the ground covering from carpet textures. The next step is to lay out the tracks. We'll make a simple layout from curved and straight pieces. Follow along as we build a simple U-shaped setup. With the U-shaped layout complete, we tilt the two straight track sections upwards. Now we'll complete the track loop by adding curved pieces. Now it's time to construct the tunnel. We'll manipulate the carpet textures that we laid down earlier to form a green hill. You'll see that we have to enlarge the size of the tabletop to better fit our project. Then we'll add the tunnel openings over the tracks. Follow along as we demonstrate how we can get the tracks to go through the tunnel. With the layout now complete, we're ready to give our tunnel a try. Let's add a train to the setup and give it a workout.